So today I am going to be making a bacon fried rice and chicken dumplings. We buy them frozen, so it's just a matter of boiling them and then I fry them up for a few minutes in leftover bacon fat. So let's go. Let's make some yummy wannabe Asian food that's delicious. So I'm a bit of a cheater when it comes to chopping bacon. I hate using a knife because I can never get consistency, so I use scissors. So I just cut it into like bite-sized pieces, maybe half an inch, and I'll do this for the entire pound of bacon. Okay, so now that that's all cut up, I'm going to fry the mushrooms and the onions. So just give me 1 second. We'll open some mushrooms and dump them in, and then we'll chop an onion, toss that in, and we'll fry it all up. Sometimes they get me, sometimes they don't. Alright, so we're going to get that on the stove. It's the most time-consuming part of the whole thing. So while I'm waiting for the bacon, mushroom, and onions to fry, I've just put 4 cups of water in a pot. I have my 4 cups of rice ready to go, just using minute rice. I'm a big fan of quick, cheap, and easy dinners. So this rice is my go-to because I can 5 minutes and it's done. So I do just a little bit of salt. I don't add too much because we're going to add some soy sauce, some sesame oil, and that is going to make it salty on its own, so we don't need to oversalt it. And then we're going to need another pot for the dumplings. So once the bacon, mushroom, and onion is done, I'm going to strain out the mushroom, bacon, and onion into a separate bowl. I tend to dirty a lot of dishes with this meal, but it's not a big deal. And then I'm going to leave the bacon fat in the frying pan. Then I'm going to, usually I do like 4 or 5 eggs. I'll scramble those in that oil. And then I'll strain those out as well and add them to the bowl with the bacon, mushroom, and onion. And then when the rice is done, we're going to dump all those ingredients in with the rice, mix it up, add some soy sauce, and then the rice is done and ready to go. And then the dumplings, I will show you, just give me 1 second. So these are the bags of dumplings. We get them, we're in Canada, we buy them at Sobeys. They're really cheap. There's about 20 in each bag. Family of 3, we really enjoy leftovers. So this will likely be dinner again tomorrow because 4 cups of rice and the chicken dumplings, they tend to last quite a bit. So between 3 of us, usually 8 to 10 each plus some rice, and we'll have roughly 60 dumplings. So even if, the 3 of us each have 10, then we still have half of that, like the same amount to eat again tomorrow. So it's a good meal, it's fairly cheap, and it stretches out quite a bit. I think these bags are maybe $4 Canadian. So I mean, bacon, mushroom, onion, rice, pretty much under 20 bucks. Most people already have eggs, right? So fairly cheap, delicious, filling, and nothing really bad for you. For a third of this pack is 190 calories. A lot of it is carbs, but we still do need our carbs. Everything in moderation, right? So this is actually, this rice is from my husband's family. My father-in-law used to make it all the time. Mine will never be as good as his. I don't know what he did, what kind of magic he worked, but his rice is the bomb. But they do live 8 hours away, so we've had to make do with how we do it, and it's still delicious. But this rice has been my favorite for the last 18 years. So shout out to my father-in-law for sharing his genius and making my belly happy. Okay, so I strained out the bacon, mushroom, and onion. I whipped up some eggs, scrambled some eggs, put them in the bacon fat, and cooked them. So now I'm just waiting for the grease to drip out of the eggs so I can strain the eggs out. This does not make the eggs like greasy, but it does leave a little bit of the grease in it, which is good for the flavor because rice can get a little bit dry. So, and then all the leftover grease is going to be used to fry up the dumplings. So this is the white rice. It's done. I have my pot of water started for the dumplings, and the dumplings are really easy. I have my pot just over halfway full of water, so we're going to bring that to a boil. Once it's boiling, we're going to add the dumplings. Okay, so I'm just using this strainer spoon, getting my egg, hopefully without dropping any on the floor today. And you got all that yummy bacon flavoring on the eggs, or in the eggs I should say. So now we're basically just going to combine all of the bacon, mushroom, onion, egg with the rice, add some soy sauce, and then it is good to go. Typically I add some sesame oil, but I forgot today, so we're just doing OG style here. Okay, so there's just a little bit of bacon grease in there, just enough to coat the bottom, and that's ready whenever we are. Okay, so I like to add a little bit of soy sauce before I put everything in, because once you get everything in, it does get a little bit hard to mix. And this soy sauce is really hard to open. Oh God, I'm just gonna open that. Please don't cut yourself. There we go. Jesus. Okay, so we're gonna add quite a bit because there is 4 cups of rice. That sound now. Whoop. Okay, so let's see where we're at with that. And don't forget that you can always add more soy sauce. Each person can add more soy sauce to their taste. You just want like a general decent amount. Okay, so we're pretty well mixed here. So this is the color of the rice right now. Now we're going to, I like to make like a little hole in the middle of all the rice and dump all the goodness in. So there is a little bit of grease, but that's deliciousness is what that is. And then we're just going to mix that up until it's all combined. And then your rice is done and ready to go. And then we're just waiting on the dumplings, which should maybe be 10 minutes start to finish. It's pretty easy. Okay, so there's your rice. It's delicious. You should definitely try it. Okay, so now the pot of water is boiling. So we're going to add in our dumplings. I try to do them quickly so the water doesn't burn me. You don't have to add oil or anything like that to the water. So that's just one pack. Oh, I missed one. That's just one package, all those. And I still have 2 to go. Okay, So now we wait for that to come to a boil, and then we're going to add 1 cup of cold water, wait for it to boil again, and let it boil for 2 minutes. And then we're going to take these, put them in there, fry them up for a minute, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Donezo. Okay, also, while I'm waiting for it to come to its second boil, I am starting to reheat the bacon grease so it's ready to go when these are done. Okay, so now it's starting to boil. So I like to put a wooden spoon over. It does help with boiling over. And I'm setting the timer for 2 minutes. And then I'll just stand here to make sure everything is safe. So my grease is sizzling. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And I'm going to turn my pot down a little bit because it's already boiling. Okay, so we have about 13 seconds left. So I am just going to shut this off because the water is still hot enough that even if it's not physically boiling, it's still doing what it needs to do. I'm going to remove this. And now we're ready. So I'm going to scoop these with this same straining spoon. I'm trying to get as much of the water off as I can, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. And I'm going to try and get them from the pot to the pan as quickly as I can so they're cooking as evenly as possible, at the same time. And then once I have them all in, I'm going to shake the pan. So it is probably about 60 dumplings. So this would feed a larger family. But like I said, we do really enjoy leftovers, and it's perfect when you can have a full meal left over to save yourself one night of cooking at least. Okay, there's only one left in there. Okay, so those are done. Okay, so now I'm just going to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. And I'll do that every couple minutes, and then I'll just do a quick little bounce test. We don't want them overly doughy, but we don't want them crunchy, if that makes any sense. Don't panic about the brown, because remember, this is bacon grease. So you're still going to have those brown little crumbles of bacon in there. My stove is currently at 3, so just around medium heat. And I'll do this a few more times, and then we're done. Then it's ready to go. There's one stuck that I'm trying to wiggle loose. It's not working. Okay, so they're starting to firm up. Some are going to be a little bit doughy still, just because they don't all make it to the bottom of the pan. And then if you do get 1 or 2 that stick, they're likely to rip open, but they're delicious anyways. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my heat off because we are getting, it's not crispy, but it's not super doughy. So I'm going to turn off my heat and give it 1 or 2 more shakes. It's looking pretty good. So I like to dump these into a container that they're going to be getting stored in because I know that we're not going to eat them all. Okay, so I have a few stuck to the bottom. Oh no, they're ripping. Oh, they're fine. We got one with a hole in it, but that's no big deal. And that's it. So there's virtually no grease left in the pan. So that makes cleaning a lot easier. And let me get it plated and I'll show you.